What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into the next one on our man-made horrors, our most horrifying human experiences. Get over, show horrifying human experiences, all the love of the world. Go show Horrify the love. Go check out both channels. If you like terrifying content, it shall be found there. A lot of work goes into it, a lot of research. Let's go on a journey, see what we got. Starting off with an epilepsy warning. So if you're a photosensitive viewer, then hey, maybe not the best video for you. Let's go see what we got. The last one we had was terrifying. The gunpowder explosion, and then damn, the Dave Matthews Band bus dropping doo-doo on everybody. Let's go see what we got with this one.
Nadine Saad was born on March 12, 1985 in the bustling city of Beirut, Lebanon. Growing up in a city with a rich cultural history, Nadine was deeply rooted in her Lebanese heritage. Her childhood was marked by the stories her grandparents told of the city's past glory, the resilience of its people, and the turmoil they had endured. Beirut, often referred to as the Paris of the Middle East, was known for its vibrant art scene, delicious cuisine, and warm, hospitable people. Nadine's family lived in a modest apartment in Jameh, a historic neighborhood known for its charming streets and lively atmosphere. As she grew older, she pursued a career in graphic design, blending her love for art with modern technology. Life in Beirut, despite the occasional challenges, was filled with moments of joy, community gatherings, and a sense of belonging. The 4th of August 2020 began like any other day for Nadine. She had spent the morning working from home, designing a new logo for a local bakery. The afternoon sun cast a warm glow over her apartment, and she decided to take a break. Nadine stepped out onto her balcony, overlooking the Mediterranean Sea, where she often found solace and inspiration. The port of Beirut, a vital artery for the city's economy, was visible in the distance. Little did she know, though, that this ordinary day would soon turn into a nightmare.
I already know the event, so yeah, definitely.
At around 6 p.m., a fire broke out at the port, sending plumes of smoke into the sky. Initially, Nadine thought it was just another warehouse fire, not an uncommon sight in a bustling port city. However, the dark and ominous smoke, billowing higher and higher, started to raise her concern. Neighbors began to gather on their balconies, watching the unfolding drama with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. And then, it happened.
Andrea! Oh my God! Sacro le pueblo.
That scared the bejesus out of me. Like, that's some terrifying footage. I would not want to be anywhere near that.
A deafening explosion rocked Beirut. The ground shook violently, and a powerful shockwave shattered windows, doors, and walls across the city. Nadine was thrown to the floor by the force of the blast. She recalled the following.
It felt like an earthquake, but much worse. The sound was indescribable, like thunder and a roar that seemed to come from the earth itself.
As she struggled to regain her bearings, Nadine saw scenes of utter devastation outside her window. Buildings were reduced to rubble, cars overturned, and the air was filled with dust and debris. She immediately thought of her family and friends, frantically trying to reach them on her phone, but the network was down. In the midst of chaos, Nadine made her way to the street, joining others in a desperate search for survivors. The eerie silence that followed the explosion was punctuated by the sounds of sirens, screams, and the distant wail of car alarms. Hospitals, already strained by the COVID-19 pandemic, were overwhelmed with casualties. Makeshift clinics were set up in parking lots and public squares to treat the wounded.
I knew it was going to be an explosion. I just knew it in my bones that something bad was going to happen. As soon as it was started off as a great day, like where I used to work when I was in the Marine Corps, was stationed at Camp Johnson in North Carolina. Beirut is definitely no stranger to explosions. I just felt it in my gut that it was going to be an explosion. We had the Beirut Memorial. Whew.
In the days and weeks following the explosion, Beirut was a city in mourning. The blast had killed over 200 people, injured thousands, and left hundreds of thousands homeless. Nadine's apartment was heavily damaged, but she was one of the fortunate ones. Many had lost everything. Volunteers from all over Lebanon and the world rushed to provide aid, clear debris, and offer support. Investigations revealed that 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate, improperly stored at the port for years, had caused the explosion. Anger and
that was more than when you think of an explosion. Like, that you're not expecting that. You think, okay, you see little explosions on the TV, you see maybe a car bomb go off or something like that, but that was freaking ridiculously massive. Like, I can't even fathom it being anywhere within that vicinity and having that shockwave hit you. No. We had the Beirut Memorial out in front of our barracks there for a long while where I was staying for the 1983 Beirut bombing. So they know about some explosions and stuff over there, but that was an unexpected one. This wasn't even like just improperly stored ammonium nitrate, I think is what he said. Imagine an accident of that magnitude where it wipes out completely other buildings that are around it. It's heartbreaking and it's terrifying. Just seeing the shockwave come was already terrifying before that footage even showed the camera falling.
And frustration grew as details of negligence and corruption emerged, prompting widespread protests and calls for accountability. For Nadine, the path to healing was long and difficult. The explosion, one of the largest non-nuclear blasts in history,
I was gonna say, it had to be up there,
left a mark on Beirut and its people. Numerous videos captured the
that was a
horrific moment,
mountain
showing
of
a towering
explosion.
mushroom cloud and the devastating shockwave that radiated outwards, obliterating everything in its path. In one particularly haunting video, a bride posing for wedding photos was caught in the blast. Her serene moment of joy transformed into a scene of terror as the shockwave hit. The explosion was so powerful that it was felt in Cyprus.
Holy shit. You don't think about it. I didn't think about it. You would have knocked people off their feet, and it certainly did. That's ridiculous. I don't know that I've ever seen, aside from a nuclear blast, I don't know that I've ever seen an explosion of that magnitude, ever.
Cyprus, over 150 miles away.
Holy hell. I'm glad to see the bride going off in that direction and know that she's okay. Whew.
The 1990s was a decade of change, with many things happening around the world. The Soviet Union had collapsed, the Gulf War had started and ended, and the United States emerged as the sole superpower of the world. It was thought to be the start of a peaceful and prosperous time for humanity, which looked to be true as globalization was underway and arms reduction treaties were being signed. This peace would be shattered in a horrific way, and the relatively unknown region of the Balkans would be at the epicenter of it.
The music that you pick too, man, you really get you on the edge of your seat, really gets you in your nerves.
Dragan Vikić was born on the 8th of October 1955 in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. His childhood in Sarajevo was filled with a deep love for sports, particularly judo, which he practiced with dedication. His athletic discipline not only kept him physically fit, but also instilled a sense of resilience and mental toughness. His commitment to sports and community service laid a solid foundation for his future career in law enforcement. As a young man, Vikić joined the police force and quickly earned a reputation for his integrity and leadership. The Bosnian War erupted in 1992, following Bosnia and Herzegovina's declaration of independence from the former Yugoslavia. This conflict was marked by ethnic violence and atrocities, particularly targeting Bosniak and Croatian civilians. The Bosnian Serb forces, with the greater support of the Yugoslav People's Army and the Serbian government, sought to create a Greater Serbia by ethnically cleansing non-Serb populations from territories they aimed to control. Amidst this chaos, Dragan Vikić became a central figure in the defense of Sarajevo, a city besieged by the Bosnian Serb forces. As the commander of the Bosnian Interior Ministry's Special Police Unit, Vikić played a pivotal role in organizing the city's defenses. He led his unit in numerous operations, defending key points in Sarajevo and providing crucial support to the besieged population. All of this happened at a time when the atrocities reached its peak. Numerous mass killings occurred during this war, but none were as heinous and disturbing as the Srebrenica massacre in July 1995. Despite being designated a safe area by the United Nations, the town of Srebrenica was overrun by Bosnian Serb forces led by General Ratko Mladic on the 11th of July. In the days that followed, more than 8,000 Bosniak men and boys were systematically separated from their families, executed, and buried in mass graves. The violence resulted in the forced displacement of thousands of women, children, and elderly. By 1995, the situation in Bosnia had deteriorated to such an extent that NATO launched airstrikes against Bosnian Serb positions, aiming to protect civilians and enforce peace. This intervention was crucial in weakening the Bosnian Serb forces and bringing the warring parties to the negotiating table. The Dayton Accords, signed in December 1995, officially ended the war and established the current political structure of Bosnia and Herzegovina. This also laid the groundwork for the prosecution of war crimes. Notable figures such as Radovan Karadzic and Ratko Mladic were indicted and later convicted of genocide and crimes against humanity. Dragan Vikic's post-war life was marred by controversy. In December 2016, he faced charges related to the killing of prisoners belonging to the Yugoslav army in 1992. This legal battle was part of broader efforts to address war crimes committed during the Bosnian War, though throughout the proceedings, Vikić maintained his innocence, asserting that his actions during the war were driven by a commitment to defend his city and his people. He was
You gotta think you can only say that up to a certain point.
eventually acquitted of the charges against him, a decision that brought relief to many who viewed him as the hero.
Hey, there you have it. More horrifying human experiences for sure. Man-made horrors. Oh, that explosion has still rocked me a little bit. Made my palms sweat. That's not something that I ever want to be even remotely in the same place as. There just was a terrifying moment. You could even see the shockwave coming from that vantage point. That I did not know about how big that explosion was. I knew a little bit about the second man-made horror just from doing some historical research and things, but it's still very, very modern. It's still like not that long ago, folks. People are still here that are affected by it. So like I don't know. I still feel like humans probably should pull their heads out of their backsides. And there's a lot of things going on out there that maybe people don't know about, maybe people aren't being told about, so I can definitely respect being able to learn about it. Get over, show horrifying human experiences, all the love of the world. If it rocked you too, smash the like button if you liked it, the dislike button, but I won't believe you. Tell the next one about the Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe, I love you to the moon and back. Peace.